I never knew when I woke up late last month that I would wake up to a nightmare. I'm writing this letter as my last thoughts to whoever might read it. I woke up, rolling my eyes as my alarm said 9:15. I was a little angered to find that my parents had gone to work without checking on me. I threw on some clothes and then went to one of the public bus stops to get to school. I felt so groggy and was half asleep walking down the vacant road. I had a sudden burst of energy, however, when I realized that I never saw anybody on the streets or any cars going down the street. Even on a Tuesday, there should have been people working or doing something. I brushed it off, closed my eyes, and waited for the bus. It took me to school every morning, and they would always come about every half hour or so. I waited for a crunching 45 minutes and still no bus. I also saw no people. I hate that bitter feeling of being alone, thinking whether or not you are seriously alone or not. Even at a bus stop, the feeling gets so sinister. Being impatient, I walked the 20-minute walk to school. I stumbled into school, and as I opened the door, the place was silent, which was odd because there's always a class being loud and doing something in the gym. I approached the office to notify the staff that I was late, but I saw nobody there, which was mysterious to me. All I heard in the school was complete silence. It was like the school was closed or I was deaf. All I could hear was the sound of my own footsteps down the squeaky hallways. I went into the offices up front and nobody was there. The place wasn't closed because all the lights were on and even the security cameras were still on in the hallways. But I didn't see one student or teacher or anyone on the camera. I walked into my third period class and it was completely empty. I checked my homeroom class and it too was completely empty. Every class in the school was completely empty. I was alone inside my high school. The feeling of being alone started creeping up on me. I left school and walked to shops trying to find people who can help me and give me an explanation. I walked into a local coffee shop and there wasn't anybody at the counter. The only sound was the jazz playing inside the shop. I shouted, "Hello? Anybody here?" Nothing. Just complete silence. That shop was dead, and so was the next one, and the next one. Every place I went was hollow. Everything worked though, traffic lights, electricity, and running water. I pulled out my phone and called my parents. Dial tone. I called my best friends. Dial tone. I called the police, and it made my blood freeze when I heard the exact same dial tone. I even went into other places to use their phones. I heard the same dial tone for everyone in my contacts. I went to strangers' houses just looking for someone to talk to. Not a single person answered the door, but cars were parked in the driveways. I walked back to my house with tears of fear and mystery in my eyes while I approached my driveway. It was like the whole town had just packed up and left. I just sat in the living room waiting for somebody to pull up into the driveway. I sat there for hours with my head full of questions. I was alone inside my own city. Or could it anymore? Maybe, what if it's farther than that? It was 8:30. My parents should have been home by then. I kept calling people all day and all I heard was the same dial tone. I threw my phone in frustration and realized that I hadn't eaten all day. I finally made my own dinner, which was some stale cereal. I went outside and kept knocking on doors to find some human or somebody. This feeling of isolation is eating me from the inside. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was on a long street, just banging on doors. On the end of the street, to my surprise, I saw someone. I saw a person. I couldn't tell what their gender was, but they were tall and standing in the center of the street. Even though I couldn't see their eyes from such a distance, I could feel their gaze piercing me. I didn't hesitate to run towards them. Screaming for them to help me, I tucked my head and ran as fast as I could. I looked up to see that they were gone. Bewildered, I was all over the place, screaming so loud for help that my vocal cords were getting sore. I fell to my knees in anguish. Remember that feeling as a kid, when your parents might have left you home alone and they were gone for a while. You were alone in the house, wondering if you were truly alone or not. I was getting that feel of loneliness. I'm not alone though. What I saw wasn't a hallucination. It was like a magic trick how it disappeared. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? I did everything I could to find some sort of answer. The radio station was static and so was the television. The internet was disconnected. If no one was living here, then how was our electricity working? Or anything for that matter. For the next several days, I started to walk everywhere around town looking for answers. I quickly ran out of food, and so I started looting grocery stores. It was sorta neat, to say the least. I just grabbed whatever I wanted for free off the shelves. I started doing stuff around town to try and forget about what was going on. I smashed plates and broke windows for the fun of it. I destroyed shops just for the fun of it. I even got music albums for free. They entertained me and got my mind off things for a while. I tried to make the best of my new life. However, these slight distractions still barely did anything to ease any of the horrifying emotions I had in my body. While I sat listening to some music, I thought about the thing I had seen. It was sorta creepy. Why would somebody just run away? The thing I saw was sorta burned into my mind. The fact that I know I'm not here alone leaves me debating whether I find that terrifying or if it makes me curious. Wondering if they're like me. Wondering why they're here alone too. I went to a gas station to get gas for my dad's truck. My dad always let me drive it around. While I was putting the fuel in the Toyota at the lonely gas station, I saw something in the distance. It was that thing. It was approaching me. I wanted to run away instead. What I saw sent chills along my spine. This thing wasn't human or anything. It was all black and tall. My heart was pumping out of my chest. It had huge claws that looked like a bear's. Its eyes were so red and piercing. I didn't even know if the thing's face could speak until it spoke. "You're not supposed to be here." I felt its words. Suddenly, it gave a bloody scream and started darting at me. I quickly dashed into my car and punched the gas pedal, speeding off down the vacant road, driving on adrenaline. I sprinted into my house and locked all of the doors. I'm so scared just to be in my own home. I sat on the ground thinking of ideas. What should I do? I grabbed my dad's Glock from his drawer, loaded the bullets, and sat in a chair. I was waiting for help, for that thing, or anything. My mind was in a full pace running. I'm alone with that thing, and that feeling just eats me alive with fear. I found myself passing out. I woke up, and my blood froze, my face turning pale. The most sinister thing was staring at me, watching me through the window while I had been sleeping. I saw its red eyes. As it saw the blank, scared emotion on my face, it started to grin. Small at first, but then ear to ear. I pointed my dad's Glock at its dismantled face. I shot one bullet into its head. It didn't do anything. Not one thing. The bullet looked like it had penetrated its body, but it didn't kill him. I shot my whole mag, but it didn't do anything but break the glass. The monster started laughing. Realizing I had just broken the glass, I ran into the other hallway. I turned around to see that the monster was climbing through my window. It's now in my house. That thing was going to kill me, but was waiting for every inch of fear to kill me first. I locked myself into my room. As I closed the door, I saw the outline of the monster darting towards my door in my hallway. My door is locked and that thing is clawing at it. I sat on my bed and looked out my window, and what I saw made me want to break down and cry. I saw another one of those things smiling out my window. It started laughing. each laugh paralyzing me with fear. It's been around 3 days now. I have no food, no water, no anything. All I hear in the day is that cruel laugh and the clawing at my door. I've been thinking, what if they get in here and claw me alive? I haven't slept due to the fear of those things breaking in. I'm not waiting for them to break in and kill me, though. I'm going to figure out a way to escape. I'm writing this note, not as a suicide note. I'm just hoping maybe somebody will find this. I don't know. I'm wondering if there's someone in the corner of the world like me, alone in isolation. I wonder if this hell is for me or something, a punishment by God. I'm going to try and run for it. I can't break my window because there are dozens of them out there. I bet they're surrounding my house. I'm going to try and get in my dad's truck and make a dash for it, out of here. Maybe there's someplace I might find my parents or something. Anyway, let this be my last thoughts. Anybody who finds this, leave. Don't be like me, and don't let them find you.